Can I show my love for you?
Hi and welcome to She Talk. My name is Stephanie. Today we'll be speaking to Danielle. Hi Danielle.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm really glad we finally got to do this.
Thank you for the invite. As mentioned, it seems like we have a lot in common
We
as
really
women.
do. We really
so
do.
it's really glad. I'm really glad to be here.
Nice. How has your week been?
Busy. As mum
Mom life?
business owner, all the different hats keeps me busy.
Can you tell us about where you're from? Like who you are, basically. I want to know who you are aside business, aside being a mom. Who is Danielle?
So I'm Danielle. I was born in the north of the UK. My parents are also UK born. So it was actually my grandparents that migrated to the UK
Where?
In the 50s, from the Caribbean, from Jamaica.
Okay.
Both mum and dad's side. They went to England in the 50s and had my parents there. So my parents are like first generation Brits.
Okay.
Growing up in the 70s, you know, like navigating their way through British life as black kids.
I feel you.
And then, so then I was born in the UK. I grew up with my mum and dad, but my mum she had illness, so she was disabled from a young age, in her 20s actually, because she has sickle cell. So from a young age, I was actually a young carer for my mum, which meant I grew a lot of independence quite early. From the age of like 7, I was washing my own clothes, which I'm sure back in Ghana is probably I think quite normal.
To be fair, that is normal for most people.
Yeah.
I didn't have it that way, but to be fair, and it actually just makes you grow up quicker. To be honest with you,
it does.
Like you were able to handle your own thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So from a young age, I was supporting my mum and my sibling, and then so growing up in the UK, school in the UK, and I then when I left school, I started my career in banking.
Okay.
So I'm approaching 40, and I'm actually on my 3rd career of life.
Wow. So at what age did you move down here to Dubai? First of all, did you move anywhere else before Dubai?
No, so I never saw myself as living abroad, because going back to growing up in the UK, you're almost in a mindset that nowhere is better. Like
you're in a bubble.
You're in a bubble. The infrastructure of UK and Europe, you feel like, this is the way it is. Everywhere else, they're suffering, whatever. And the reality is, I just thought there would be nowhere that would suit my standard of living, and so career-wise, I was a banker initially for many years, and then I became a mum, so I retrained as a teacher, just to fast forward to where we are. So I became a teacher, and it was the teaching that brought me to Dubai. So I didn't visit Dubai before moving here
to Dubai,
because seeing it and speaking to people who had visited, they said the infrastructure, the setup is just like nowhere else. Like you will not feel that you are not getting the same as what you get in Europe, if that makes sense. So I haven't lived anywhere else before here. And then when I got here, I was like, my gosh, like we're suffering in Europe, and here
it's the
other way around. Yeah. So, I just assumed I would be here for a couple of years, do, a contract in a school and move on or move back home. And 6 going on 7 years later, I'm still
here.
It.
I feel you love it. Would you call this place home?
Yeah, it's a balance. Like, I don't always love it. As you know, things can, not always straightforward, but it's an amazing place to live. The UAE, the Middle East, there are a lot of opportunities.
That's true.
The government, the leaders have real vision for the place. And I think, that is it's phenomenal just how much the growth has been in a short time. Yeah. So I don't think you can really get that anywhere else. And, for now, absolutely. Like I intend to be here.
Lovely. I think I saw on your Instagram you were talking about IVF.
Yeah.
I want to touch a little bit of that. Like, how was it for you?
Yeah.
You got married at what age, by the way?
So I was 19 when I got married, so quite young. I actually did a lot of things quite young, good things. So as mentioned, my mum was she had a stroke, so I was disabled from a young age. So I was running the house from a young age. I bought my own first house when I was like just after marriage at 19, 20.
Go girl!
I was married then, I had a career, and I did everything quite young. I actually feel like I'm having an early midlife crisis because I ticked off all the things so early. So just going back to your what was your question? IVF. So when we decided to start a family, and I was told, this might make things difficult for you. I just thought at the time, right, I'm in my early 20s. It might be a very long journey to be trying this to get this child like that I want. At the time, I didn't plan on having children so early, but knowing that I would have difficulties medically meant that I said I don't want to waste any time, because I don't know what 10 years, I might still be here trying in 10 years. So we decided to do it then.
Was it easy for you?
And it was, yeah, I'd be honest with you, it was. And I know like a lot of technologies evolved over the years, but equally a lot more women are going through it. Like back then, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't discuss with anyone outside of like my parents. Nobody knew actually. And my boy is now 16, and at the time it was easy. I was young. I had lots of eggs. My body was younger, and it was a sale. I know it's a grueling process for a lot of women. You have to have the hormones. You have to have lots of appointments, take time off work. It can be really invasive. But again, age was on my side, so it worked for me the first time, and it was easier.
Okay, so the first time you did it, you got it.
Yeah,
Bless
yeah,
you.
and I've never not been grateful for that. Like even now I look at my son and I say, oh my gosh, I'm a mom.
I see it all the time on your Instagram.
Yeah, I still feel that, oh my gosh, I actually got my baby, and he's not a baby anymore.
I feel you. So did you move down here with your family?
Yeah, so we moved as a family, and I'm now divorced. So over the period of moving, things changed. Yeah. And both have moved on, and that's that. But How
many years were you married for?
17 years.
Wow.
So a long time.
Wow, nice. Yeah. What did you have any culture shock when you moved down here to Dubai?
Not really, no. I don't think I did. I had expectations that I would have to modify certain behaviours coming from Europe, but I thought it was a good thing. So things like, you can't have saying obscenities. Not that I do. You can't, you dress a bit more modestly, like, certain values. And another thing that actually really helped our transition was, I wouldn't say helped, but it was just, I think, a beautiful thing that happened when we came. My son has always had an interest in Islam from the age of 7.
Oh.
And long story short, whilst in the UK, and he kept asking questions, and I want to do, Ramadan, I want to fast, my friends are doing this. And we were just like, oh yeah, but you're only young, you don't really know what you mean. And actually, when we moved to Dubai, he converted to Islam.
Oh.
So my son is a Muslim and practicing as well, which I think being here and being in a Muslim country has actually helped him to find his own.
I love the fact that you actually allow him to be a man on his own, to have his own choices, of course, with your guidance. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I see he does basketball.
Yeah, so he's a basketballer, and he's in the middle of his exams also, very bright boy. And he has ambition of playing in the US.
Bless him.
So any scouts for basketball, just...
Please call on. I love that. Okay, so how did you start your business? So you were a teacher when you came down here. Yes. How many years were you teaching in Dubai?
So all in all, 10 years teaching. And in Dubai, 4 years.
4 years? And why the switch? Why did you switch? And what did you switch to? I know you have a series of businesses that you've been doing.
Yeah, so I was a teacher and I love teaching, and even now I still sometimes go back into schools and do the odd day here and there. They call me. I love children. I love just nurturing them and doing all of that. But I think one of the things that is common with most business owners is that they aspire to have a level of freedom, whether it's time freedom, financial freedom, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think when especially in teaching, it's a job where you are required to be there. I think COVID was the only time when we were able to not be in school and still do the job, which meant we could teach online.
Yeah.
But it's one of the few jobs where, like, let's say you have a medical appointment, you can't just be like, okay, I'll work remotely or I will do my work and submit it, or, you know, different types of jobs require different parts of you. But a teacher has to be in the classroom. True. Even with the online learning thing, it was never the same. And children really, you know, some children really struggled with not having that teacher-pupil interaction. So and that's a beautiful thing. But on the other side, it means that you can't have that balance of freedom if you need to be away or you need to do other things or focus on multiple things at once. So when I began my business, I did have to jump into it and like leave. I couldn't really do
balance
both.
Because then it would mean being a teacher, doing your business, being a mom, being a wife, being Danielle.
So it's a lot. So my business is Co-Living Legends, and it's a accommodation company where we provide shared apartments for women in Dubai.
I love it.
One of the things I found in my role as a teacher is a lot of women, not just women, most expats that come that are not like us coming as a family, like with children and other halves. If you're coming as a single person, a lot of people will opt to live in a shared apartment and rent a room or rent something together, and they all have their own bedroom. And I just realized that, you know, okay, but where's the like level of standard here? Like,
who is measuring it?
Who is measuring it? And some people's experience are really good and some is really not good. Some is, you know, there are parameters, and some they're living in like with too many people and it's overcrowded. And in the UK, student accommodation, graduate accommodation, shared accommodation is actually normal in Europe, UK, and most large cities. And co-living is now the buzzword. So I decided to tap into this, and my niche is females. So we just work for, you know, providing accommodation for women, but I'm filling a gap in that. These women come to me and they say, you know, I'm so glad to find you. I can't find any decent rooms to rent.
And also, I think you are also literally creating a community.
Yeah. So that's been something that's come off the back of this that I didn't actually envisage or plan for. But we're now at the point where we're large enough. I think maybe we've got about 60 women that rent from us, so across different buildings, and they're now a community in themselves.
So would you ever think of going into like co-living spaces for men as well?
We keep getting asked that.
Yeah, because
we do.
You might as well.
Yeah, I know. Gradually, yeah.
Do you like it?
I do, but I do like the fact of the empowering women thing.
Okay.
I do really like that we just do this.
Women supporting women.
Yeah, I do. And maybe I'm missing a trick and I'm losing probably on, you know, revenue by not including men.
No,
but
I think you can actually separate the two. If you don't want to mix it. Yeah. Unless you want to have a nursery on the ground floor, because that's just gonna. And you are a teacher, so you'll be fine. Co-living nursery.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So as we scale and grow, like absolutely, I think it's only right to do that, because you know the expat community is growing every day
massively.
So
if they want to find you on Instagram, what's your Instagram handle?
It's Co-Living Legends Dubai. Okay,
so we just slide into your DM and you send us all the details.
Sure, yeah.
What does it come with? Does it come with DIWA? Is it all paid for, or is it separate?
Yeah, so one of the things that we how we package ourselves is on the fact that it's an all-inclusive service. Okay. And also all our rooms come with their own bathroom. So of all the rooms across all the buildings that we rent and the apartments, every single person has their own bathroom. Privacy. Which is not the common thing. I know in some places people rent a room and they do have to share a bathroom with one or two other people. We wanted it to be almost luxury shared living because we're renting to people who are in good jobs. They're not students or they're not, people who are just coming here and wanting cheap accommodation. We don't do cheap, but we do quality shared apartments and rooms to rent, inclusive of everything. They just pay one amount every month. They don't have to set up DUA. They don't have to set up Wi-Fi. It's all done for them.
Why did you start this?
I just noticed that there just was the gap. Like there wasn't anything filling that gap that was of quality. And even today, there are other operators that are operating in Dubai. Not a lot, but there are some. Some have actually purpose-built their co-living spaces, which are fabulous. And I'm of the belief of collaboration, not competition. So I've spoken with other operators. I've been to see their places, and what they're doing is amazing. And so why I did this is that, like them, we've spotted that there's a need for it, and there's a growing need for it. It's growing all the time.
Would you say that moving to Dubai has opened your eyes in these businesses that you started? Like, I think back in the UK, if you were in the UK, would you have done this?
So I've always been in property. So I've always been a landlord. From the minute I bought my own house, I bought other houses to rent out. And that's from my banking background. I was in the bank from the age of 17.
Yeah.
So I was exposed to mortgages, financial planning from quite a young age. And already I was like, I need this. I want to do this. So I've actually always done this, but just on a smaller scale. I think definitely coming here has allowed me to almost take the leap. In the UK, people do shared living. It's bigger there, actually. But coming here, I just think everybody's of a similar mindset. In the UK, for sure, like even family will be like, no, keep your job. You need stability. Don't take risk. Don't do that.
I think living in Dubai gives you that risk. You just want to take the risk. I want to try this.
I'm going to try it. And everybody's of an aspirational mindset. So any idea you may see or discuss with somebody, it's possible, not don't do it.
No, it's always go.
Yeah.
What has been your highlight as a mother?
Oh, I honestly, just for me, just being a mom. I can't put it into one thing, a highlight, just being blessed to be a mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know how you drool over your son, man. I see it all the time. You know, when we were on the phone, I had asked you about university, and you said something very interesting. You didn't go to university. You actually had to finish most of your career before you went into university.
Yeah, so because I started work. So in the UK, you can climb the ladder in companies without going entry with a degree. You can join a company from a young age and work your way up. And that's quite common in Europe. It's not, they don't tie it all down to having a degree. Whereas I know in Middle East and other places, you need a degree.
You do.
So I always told myself, I'm not going to go and get a degree unless it gives me a job at the end. And I didn't initially. I joined the bank and progressed quite quickly in the banking. I did have to study and do my financial planning exams, my mortgage exams. I did qualify in those areas. But then when I decided to go into teaching, it was the 2008 credit crunch, all the banking, everything was crashing. I was like, right, I need to rethink this. I'm about to be a mum. Then the careers advisor said, okay, you want to be a teacher, you need a degree. So I then went at the age of 27, I think.
Still that old, honestly.
Still quite young.
Still quite young
At this point. But I'd done nearly 10 years with the bank at this point. So I felt old. It aged me. Yeah. I then said, okay, well, doctor, lawyer, teacher, those jobs, you need a degree, but you will get a job at the end. So I was like, I'm fine to do this now because I know as soon as I qualify, I will go into a school. And that's what I did.
Nice. What would you tell your younger self if she was watching this?
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Whatever it is.
Just do it.
Just do it.
But it needs to be safe. Though.
Safe, yeah.
You need to be safe.
Yeah. I think, again, being in business, and I'm sure you can relate, like there's even now still decisions that I have to make. I still think, maybe not. Oh, no.
It's not time yet.
It's not the time. I shouldn't. But sometimes just do it. Like everything will figure itself out.
Just do it. Anyways, thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Really nice to meet you today.
Finally.
But yes.
Thank you for watching up to this point. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.